Those that have not.
Cow's beard and cow names.
I should throw it out. We'll cut off the top of my hair. Like I'll do the Tom Baker as much as I possibly can, and then we'll do like.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? You're listening to episode 100 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of The Division. But first, my name is Mike, and joining me are my co-hosts, Robert.
Hello.
And Luke.
Hello.
Not only that, but we have two very special guests with us. Welcome, Cal Streams.
Hello.
And Mr. Sage from Bombshell Jackets.
Hello.
Hope you guys and our listeners have had a great week, and welcome to any new listeners of the show. Very quickly, we have, thanks to community manager Petter over at the Division, aka State the Game, 2 Gold Edition PC codes for the Division to be won throughout the course of the show. So if you stick with us throughout, you'll have a chance to win one of those. Also,
Goodies.
if you stick with us throughout the show, we'll be asking you, the listeners, to join us live on the show at the end, give your feedback and thoughts on the Division and the future. Anyway, let's get down to a bit of news. Luke, what has been happening this week in news for the Division?
Well, they announced a bit of a special global event thing, didn't they? We're getting all 4 of the original global events for, 47 hours? That magical 48th hour being the guessing over the crossover period. So starting Monday, you'll get Outbreak. Wednesday, you'll get Assault. Friday, you'll get Strike. And then finishing off the 4th, you'll get Ambush on Sunday.
Awesome. Give people plenty of time to catch up on anything they're missing. Robert, have you got anything missing on PC?
Yes. I don't know without checking my sheet, but I have got quite a few bits missing. Not much. But...
What about yourselves, Cal and Sage? Have you got anything left that you'll be able to pick up over the next week?
No, not a single thing.
No?
That must be that must be nice.
Not a sweet golden rhino or anything like that?
Maybe some Hunter's Faith, but I'm in no rush for that.
How many Caduceus have you got?
3 stashfuls, pretty much.
Right, yeah.
Do you
I
have
know a guy
more
who
than...
can hook you up if you need more than one.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have more or less than Edel and Fox?
Absolutely less. I heard he's got stashfuls and then various user profiles with more Caduceus.
Just can't get away from it. What about you, Sage?
I still need Firecrest. I was grinding out all day today, 20,000 credits, and I still need one more piece of Firecrest on Xbox. And then the grind returns because I got to do it again on PC and PlayStation. So technically I need everything everywhere.
That's what
in
she
one
said.
place or another.
Anyway, I'll leave that there. Thank you very much for the news, Luke. Now, since we do have some special guests, we like to do a thing over here on SITREP Radio to kind of warm up, which is ask...
Icebreakers.
Yeah, Icebreakers. Icebreaking questions. So I'm going to go to Cal first. What is your favourite alcoholic drink?
Gin and tonic. Easy. That or a good, proper British English ale.
Nice. Sage?
Hendrick's Gin. I'm a gin man myself as well. Straight gin, neat. Don't mess with it. Leave it alone.
Wow, okay.
Look how serious he was with that answer as well. I've never seen him like that before. Keep my gin alone or I'll kill you.
Or a good scotch. But yeah,
man. Right, come on then, Sage. If you were on death row, what would your final meal be?
It would be a medium rare to rare steak, baked potato, sour cream loaded with cheese, bacon bits on top, and probably an ice. No ice cold beer. It would be a traditional Guinness, and that would be. Let me go.
That's freaking precise. Same again to Cal.
What was the question again?
If you ever found yourself on death row, what would your final meal be? I'd like to put it out now. I don't think either of you have got it in you to be on death row, but go with me on this one.
I think, being a northern lad, I think it would have to be like a good proper portion of chips, pudding, gravy, side of mushy peas, and yeah, probably a nice ale to swill it all down with.
Solid choice for a northern lad.
Okay, so Cal, what's your favourite type of cheese?
I'm not a cheesy guy. Not in that sense, anyway. I don't know, just like a proper, I guess, a normal matured cheddar. I only really put cheese on stuff, like little bits. I'm not one of that, you know, I'm not get a cheese board or anything like that. I'm not into. I'm a northern lad. I just want my my northern food, and cheese isn't a northern food, so I'll no rubbish answer, but that's the best I can do.
No, that's fine. Sage?
An extra sharp white cheddar.
Nice.
Yeah,
Fair play.
nice and dry.
Next question. Who is your favorite recording artist or band, Cal?
I'd probably go with like overall influence and being there throughout much of later life. Probably Tupac.
Good answer. Sage? To be honest, at least it wasn't Katy Perry. I was expecting Katy Perry or something like that, so I'll give you that one. Sage?
Probably not. I don't know. Maybe you guys have heard of this band, thinking '90s acoustic grunge, like Alice in Chains. You've probably heard of Alice in Chains. Hopefully, there was a band at the time called Days of the New. It was an acoustic rock band, and I formed a lot of my personal style in music around the lead singer and guitarist Travis Meeks. So, still go back, and I still listen to that constantly. My all-time favorite had a huge effect on me.
I think everybody does, don't they? Everyone has like that one thing that they go back to. It doesn't matter how many times you listen to it, you can always go back. But yeah, thank you.
Sage, what is your favorite current TV show?
Favorite current TV show? I would have to say, don't watch a lot of TV. The wifey and I are big into anime, so I would have to say current anime that is our favorite right now would be Food Wars. Incredible anime show. Probably nobody's heard of that. So Attack on Titan.
Nope.
Yeah.
You've heard it? Yeah. So Attack is right now is my favorite.
Nice.
Cal?
Current TV show would definitely have to be Designated Survivor. Loving that right now.
Nice. Yep. Very good. Solid choices.
What was your first gaming system, Sage?
Sega Master System.
Nice.
Not necessarily a gaming system, but the first thing I played games on was Commodore VIC-20, way back in the day.
Ooh.
And things like that, but
Yeah.
it was.
No, mine was the Commodore 64. Awesome little machine. Awesome little machine. Okay, Cal, if you had the chance to wipe your memory and replay one game as if you'd never ever played it before, what would that game be?
See, that's a tricky one.
We know.
Can't say The Division.
No, I mean, it wouldn't be. I think I would probably say Half-Life.
Nice choice.
Yeah, because that like changed first-person shooters for me forever. Yeah, Half-Life.
Come on then, Sage.
Knights of the Old Republic.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
He is a
Good
big
lad.
Star Wars fan, isn't he?
Oh
Yeah. Did you, just nipping back to your answer, Cal, did you, obviously with Half-Life then, did you get into like Team Fortress Classic and all that sort of side of it as well?
Not the Team Fortress side, but I did get into like the Source side, so I played a lot of Day Defeat Source when that came, like later on, obviously. And Counter-Strike Source. Counter-Strike before that.
Yeah, yeah.
All the traditional spin-offs except Team Fortress.
Very nice. Very nice.
Well,
Thank you, gentlemen.
I want to give you both a huge congratulations because if you don't already know, both Cal and Sage have received their star player status this week and will be headed off to LA in June to see the Division 2 firsthand at E3. how are you both feeling right now?
Sage, you came first, so I will let you.
Disbelief. It hasn't sunk in yet. I'm thrilled. I'm sure everybody's laughed at. I'm going to be known as the star player that cried the most. Maybe, I don't know. 45 minutes to an hour of me crying. It still hasn't sunk in. It's just add on top of that the incredible content creators that I've looked up to forever. Before I was creating content, and I'm still small compared to these giants in the community, and I get to go and stand next to them. It's surreal. It's surreal. So like I said, it's too big to really fathom for me right now. I feel like I need the rest of this weekend just to recover from the news.
No, huge congratulations, man.
Yeah, definitely, Sage. Congrats, dude. Can't wait to meet you.
I know. Cow hugs.
I only found out last night, so I'm still in a bit of shock. Yeah, it was about this time last night, so like I've known for less than 24 hours. Amazed, humbled, excited. Yeah, just I can't put it. I'm still I'm really still at a loss for words for it. I need work to clear my holidays first, so I'm not going to get like too excited. But yeah, it's been an amazing ride this last 2 years, and then being involved in the community for like the last year and a bit, I think, at this point. But yeah, excited. I've never been to the US, never mind LA.
Nice.
I've never been to E3. So yeah, just so excited. So excited.
Awesome, man. I think you're going to love it. Rob, you want to take the first question?
So what are you expecting to see at E3, apart from obviously the real cool behind the scenes shit?
Serge, I'll let you go again.
You let me go again? Oh. I'm not there's a lot of stuff that I would like to see there. This being my very first time going, and it's always been a dream for me to go to E3. So I intend to absorb as much as possible, even outside the Ubisoft realm. But I can't really say, I'm not expecting anything, but I in the back of my mind, I do expect there to be some pretty big, wonderful, great surprises. Knowing Ubisoft, there's always something that they're not telling us. There's always something, planned that's going to be just huge. So I'm expecting the unexpected. I guess we should put it that way. I think there's going to be a lot of hype around this. I think it's going to be great. I don't know. Can you tell? I can't even talk.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to start going before Sage, because Sage has just given my answers as well. So if I said the same, I'm going to look a bit stupid. I'm looking to be surprised, and not necessarily for the Division stuff, because I think that's a given. No matter what we're shown for, in terms of like Division 2, what's coming, what it's going to be like, what it looks like. I think that stuff is going to have so much hype behind it anyway. I am really looking forward to sort of seeing things that I go not expecting to see, whether that be technology, whether it be games, whether it be something that's sort of coming in the future, or whether that's just in terms of like people I get to meet whilst I'm there, and the experience. Because like I say, I've obviously been abroad on holiday and things like that, but I've never actually been to America, never actually been to LA. So that the whole experience for me is probably what I'm most excited for.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're gonna see a trailer come E3, aren't we, guys?
I hope so. So I'm not going.
Do you? Well, yeah. I mean, do you guys think we'll see any gameplay, or is it going to be like a CGI trailer, or what do you expect to see? I guess from the Division, for us as a community, what would you like to see? I guess
I would like to see actual gameplay. I think we'll probably see maybe see like a possibly pre-rendered thing like we did at the previous E3 for Division 1. It depends, because we have no idea right now, right? I think before it was like, this is Division, and none of us really had any expectations of it, so that blew us away last time. Now obviously everybody knows about Division, everybody sort of knows what it is, and we've been given a time and a date. We're going to go and see, and you're going to see it announced at E3 2018. So I think whatever they show us, so long as as long as it is what we expect to see, it's going to blow us away. I would like to see gameplay, I would like to see some gameplay rather than just some CGI stuff. If we see CGI stuff, I think it'd be a little bit of an anticlimax. I mean, I'd still be happy, as long as we get like a date or anything tied around it. Gameplay would be awesome, but I think we'll get something pre-rendered and probably very polished. But I don't know. It could blow us away. You know, we like I said, we don't know whether it's coming this year, next year. If it's this year, then I would hope to see gameplay. We can't see gameplay, and if it's coming out this year, then we might be in a bit of trouble right now. So, I would like to see gameplay, but I think it's likely that we'll see some pre-rendered stuff.
Sage, I mean, what do you want to see from the Division?
Ditto. Exactly what Cal said. It's it would be out of the ballpark if they're way ahead of schedule, and the big surprise is that some of us actually get to play a pre-build or a level or something like that too. You know, there's a little bit of pre-testing involved. Having so many Division people there in the community, judging by the picks and how many of them are in the Division community, it makes me wonder if there's not a bit of a setup of additional things behind the scenes that they'll want our opinions on. So fingers crossed for that, but it's not in any way, shape, or form a deal breaker. I'm just going to be thrilled to be there and hopefully see, like Cal said, a great video of some gameplay. Hopefully it's actual gameplay and not what we had originally got with the first Division, which was just, you know, some rendered video. And so it'd be nice to see some actual gameplay, but fingers crossed, and maybe there'd be some more to it.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
I mean, you've both kind of talked about it, but like, when do you see the Division 2 drop in? Do you see it dropping this year? Because obviously we have a roadmap to the end of September at the minute, which is obviously the first time we've ever had a roadmap. But what is your likelihood that we'll see it this year opposed to next year?
I've made a similar conclusion, or arrived at a similar conclusion to you guys, in terms of they've shown us what year 3 looks like, and it goes to September. That might just be coincidental. It might be, well, they've given us another 6 months, and then th'll show us what the next 6 months after that's going to be. And that's totally feasible. But they've said in the past, you know, I'm going to paraphrase, but, you know, we've been working on this since we released Division 1. So, I mean, if that's the case, and if it's true, then I guess it is feasible for this year. The fan in me wants to say, like, September, October, you know, the usual sort of pre-Christmas huge release window. The realist in me says at least March next year.
Yeah,
I think we're pretty much in agreement on that, aren't we?
Yeah, I think to be honest, everybody wants it sooner than later, but it's going to be we'd rather they took their time and we get it more than likely next year.
I think we would rather they would have taken their time, but I think they may have rushed it and get it out before Christmas, because it just makes more financial sense.
Yeah.
Sage,
Which Christmas though?
Not yet.
What's that?
When can you see it dropping, or same?
I was thinking along the same lines, maybe playing it a bit more conservatively and thinking holiday 2019. And maybe that's more of a hope. I want it now too, but please take your time. There's no rush. I'm happy to wait until 2019 holiday if that means we get a super, super solid build and a smooth release and tons of content. Take your time. But it would be great to see it in March, but I'm going to play it conservative this time.
I think what we see at E3 will be a big tell.
Yeah, depending on how much we actually see at E3 is going to be the biggest tell of all, isn't it? But it is kind of funny that we kind of called it if we didn't see one, not the other, but the fact that we actually saw both, as in, like, you know, we said on the podcast that if we see like a year 3 trailer, then, or a timeline, then we probably won't get in Division 2 anytime soon. Or if they didn't say anything about year 3, then we were probably going to get a year 2, and then to get both in one hit was like, what the hell? So, you know, they're doing a really good job at the minute.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to pass that over to you, Luke.
Well, I want to know, you both talk very passionately about the game. You're obviously well involved in the community, obviously from your newly appointed star player status. I want you to please tell our lovely listeners out there, in your own words, why it is you've stuck with the division through, obviously, its ups and downs. There's been obviously many of each, in my opinion. We had some real low points and we've had some incredible high points. So I just wondered why you stuck with it.
Serge, do you want to go first?
I was actually going to pass it to you.
I think for me, prior to the division, there hasn't been anything, any other game that has given me like a real, like, deep interest in an RPG. I'm very much that guy who likes like proper first-person shooters, you know, where it's like now in the present, like believable, not necessarily, even though I love Destiny.
Yes.
It's
right, that's it. No, I missed
The word, get out.
it's one of those games where I can believe what's happening within the game. And then when I started really getting into it after I'd first bought it, because I was expecting when I picked it up, just another shooter that was just going to run its course. It might keep me interested for a couple of weeks to a couple of months, and then to move on from it. But when I got it and I got to level 30 and started realizing, all right, so there's like enemy armor damage and there's damage to elites and there's this and there's skill power and there's skills and there's the dark zone and then there's all this other stuff that you can do weekly. That for the first year and a bit, that really sort of sucked me in and got me hooked hard. I think for me, it's everything about the game. Like right now as well, I keep saying it every time anybody comes to stream and say, I stopped playing this game or I'm thinking of picking this game up, should I do it? Right now, the division is in the best condition, the best state that it's ever been. You get into it now and you've got so much to do on a weekly basis. You've got, especially if you pick up the gold stuff, which is like on sale quite regularly right now. And I know that was like a bone of contention with you guys for so long. On like every other podcast, it was saying like, why don't they bring the price of the gold edition down, or like make the price of the DLC so little? Right now, you can pick it up at a really good price, no matter what day of the week it is. And it's all that I just mentioned. So the stats, min-maxing those, having to go and farm for those, those striking e-pads. Anybody knows me, like striker class in e-pads with EAD, damage to elites, and increased kill XP. Just the ability to do that. And for the longest time, for everything that you pick up to pretty much be an upgrade. Me at end game right now, like I said before, when you were saying like what loot would you want to pick, there isn't a lot that I need in terms of loot. I'm still playing it because I'm going for the commendations, but it's everything. Like this is the most rubbish answer ever, isn't it? But like it's everything about the game. It's the setting, it's the loot, it's the grind, it's the loop, every week, and the community. So that for me is what's kept me hooked for the last year and a half, basically.
I mean, being honest, there is no... I mean, you can compare it to other games, but there is no other game like The Division, is there, at the end of the day? To the point, like, we play The Division, but we have to sometimes take a break and go play something else. And to the whole point where now we're playing it on PC because it's completely fresh. We have nothing. We're starting from scratch, and it's like seeing the world of The Division all over again with fresh eyes. When you have everything and you can go into the dark zone or you can go run PvP and there's no issues, like you have nothing and you want to do those things again, but it takes time and you have to build everything back up, including sets, gear, weapons, and it's eyes fresh open every time we play the game. So every time we try and leave, we end up going back to it in one shape or form, which
yeah.
I think one of the bigger things as well, and I know you guys have done it. I did it a long time ago, but I played it on Xbox and I had thousands of hours in it. And then was lucky enough to obviously get a PC. And then I bought it for that. And that reinvigorated it's almost like a completely different game. It isn't the same game, but like the controls, the accuracy, so you're not having to, even though I'm cheesing so much stability on my striker build right now, just it felt like a different game. So I've had the 1 to 30 like 7 times, I think, and I do it again because it's so enjoyable.
I think I've heard Rob say it before. I mean, what do you say about PC with regards to the Division?
It's just smoother.
It's made
That's-
for it. It's made for
Well,
PC,
yeah, but-
unfortunately. But
Yeah,
it feels, when you actually play it on PC compared to a console, it is as if it's always been made for PC, but you won't ever know that until you play it on a PC. But anyway, Sage, same question to you.
I remember the first.
Yeah, I was gonna say you might need to reiterate the question, Luke.
It was just what's made you stick with the Division through its various ups and downs. Obviously, you are very passionate about the game. You stream it almost every time you do stream. So what makes you coming back, and what made you come back? Obviously, I mean, the obvious one is after 1.3, but
I have to agree with everything that Cal said. It's, I think you really nailed it there. So I will highlight the community side of it. I remember the first time that I played the beta, it was a recommendation from my buddy Silas, and I immediately saw that it was a third-person game, and I wasn't impressed because I hadn't played a third-person game that had been done properly, in my opinion. And it wasn't 10, 15 minutes into it, leaving the prologue area, your introduction area, and I was hooked. And by the time I got to Madison Field Hospital during the beta, it was over. I love the game. I related most with the storyline at that time in my life. I was going through a lot, and I really, really enjoyed the storyline and its portrayal of hope. That was something that I needed in my life at that time. But what I found was something much more, and that there were other people that really enjoyed the game. And so I started getting in. You guys remember Dark Zone Report, and of course Binary Numb and all of that. Found that there's just this huge, upon release, there's just this huge following of people that really enjoy playing the game, and they're all just so wonderful. Come to find out that there's this state of the game, this little thing called State of the Game, and seeing how passionate that the devs were for their game, and they're attempting every week to communicate, and they're in Twitter, and they're passionate about their game too, and they really care about the community. That was an experience that I didn't have in a game before, and I really love Star Wars: The Old Republic, and I streamed that way back in the day, and it's just a different community. So the Division did a lot of things that I had not experienced all in one package. I've been a part of great games that had no communities, and then great communities for really bad games. And this game just seemed to have it all, and so quickly. It was hard to put it down. And through those times where you get kind of tired of grinding, and you take a little bit of a break, and then all of a sudden there's somebody on Twitter and Discord, hey, I'm going to go and do this. And you're like, you know what? I'd like to get a better mod, or I'd like to get a better, weapon, or a better, maybe RNG will bless me this time. And I think the Division has been really good at that. You've got the community coupled with some complex RPG style stats, but in a straightforward UI that is the learning curve. It's complicated enough to where there's a learning curve, but not too complicated that it's not learnable.
Yeah.
And there's always a new way to do something. There's always a different take. You never know when the next person is going to come out with the new meta. I think that's possible. People think that, well, everything has been done on YouTube, but then impressed me the most about it, even if I've taken a break for a week or two, eventually I'm dreaming about, wait a minute, I didn't think about doing this with that build that I was starting to get tired of. Let me do that. Brilliant. Any game that can make you do that, start dreaming about the game, I think, well done. Bravo.
Yeah.
especially after 2 years, right?
Especially after 2 years.
And there's something you mentioned right at the beginning, the love and the appreciation that the guys over on the State of the Game gave. I mean, I don't know if anybody watched them back I know you guys did, I know everybody here did, back in year 1 of the Division, like anything from launch day up to 1.5, even through 1.3, 1.4. If you see the looks on their faces, they stuck by doing something that they got absolutely hated for. You know, they got barraged in comments on chat and things like that for like a whole year. Whoa, I don't think it was a whole year, but I honestly don't ever think they get the appreciation. They might do now. I understand that is now, but you know, well done to Hamish, Yannick, and Petter for sticking through every single state of the game, every single week through that first year, because it was brutal for us to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and it must be even worse for those guys. I know it's, you know, I know they joke about it now, like dead game and things like that, but the amount of people, like, we nobody knew what the future of the division was back then. We didn't know we were going to get a year 2. We didn't know we were going to get a year 3, and we didn't even know if we were going to get a sequel. Yeah, there was talk about it, but I mean, back then, those guys stuck with it, and I thank them for all the hard work they put in over the last 2 years. It's been worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it must be really hard for them, right? Because they're just this, and I guess it's the jobs to do that. The community managers, they're the face of the game. But for them to keep putting themselves out there year 1 when it was terrible, I mean, there's no way of like sugarcoating it. Like, there's so many of the patches, whether it be like PvP, whether it be elements of PvE. Even though, to be honest, people complain about 1.3, but I absolutely loved it. But they are that face of the game, and you know, one point of time in the game's life, it wasn't as great as it is now. It's a shame it took that long to get to it, but I'm so happy that they're getting, well, 2 things: that the guys like you just mentioned, Hamish, and those are getting the recognition now for what they've done, and hopefully they pass that back onto the game developers themselves, and the guys that sort of sit behind them. But I'm so glad that I know people have written it off, but so many people, you look at like the you know, I've seen like Broman back, Dr. Lupo, like so many big people that also, in my opinion, wrote it off in year 1, come back and be so verbal and so positive in the sort of reviews and how wrong they were. That must be like, for them to get that recognition from people that they look up to, right? You know, the big content creators, the big influencers out there, for them to come back and say, you know what, Massive have done an amazing job. They've taken something that was so fundamentally flawed and broken, you know, a year ago, and they've turned it into something amazing with what we have right now in terms of the amount of content, the amount of loot, I was going to say balance, but you know, striker.
We'll get there. At least it's not just Alpha Bridge. Put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for it to be where it is now, must be so humbling for the community manager team, and they must sleep a lot easier at night right now.
Yeah, because like marketing affects those things as well. And if something like that is doing bad and there's taken so much hate on a daily basis, like, I just surprised they sustained it, and the fact those guys stuck with it till now has been awesome. So, I mean, talking about year 2, how do you guys think year 2 went overall? Sage?
I honestly, I didn't know what to expect in year 2, and my perspective at the time, as somebody who was just dabbling in content creation, I heard the disappointment, but I didn't quite fully understand it at the time. So I don't think my perspective. I don't think I have a really good opinion on my perspective in year 2. Yeah, I really don't. I really don't have a great perspective. It was, there were some bumps in the road, I can say, from, you know, personally, there was definitely some bumps in the road. Now, though, seeing how well they recovered from that, and the amount of effort they tried to put into overcoming some of those hurdles, seeing that come to fruition now, I think that year 2 was a great lesson for everybody involved, and that's why we have what we have now. So it's just a learning lesson. But like I said, I I don't know that I was as aware as I should have been during that time to really identify some things.
No, I understand. I mean, like for us, 1.8 was huge for the community, but if you go back to like the year 2 announcement, there was nothing. Nobody really had a clue what was going to be coming at the time, and then to have that right at the end, wow, there's 1.8. This is everything you're getting. Was freaking, that amazed us, because I don't think anybody thought we were going to get that. And look at how many people have come back to the game because of it. And it goes to show, with more time, you can do a lot more. Cal, same question to you. How do you think year 2 went overall?
So I can look back now and I would have a different perspective. Prior 1.8, I'll be honest, and I think it was because of how they set up, and they came out and they said, we made a mistake. We didn't announce it correctly. But year 2, when it was first announced, I was a little bit deflated, because it didn't. Again, paraphrasing, but they pretty much came out and said there's going to be like not much new content. What you've got is what you've got, and nothing's really going to change. Now, again, that's massively paraphrased because I wasn't aware of these questions beforehand. So, but in terms of what's happened in year 2, 1.8, absolute game changer. Resistance, not so much skirmish and modes like that, but like what we got with 1.8 in terms of the gear sets, the classified gear sets. The classic gear sets reinvigorated the grind for me more than anything, because again, as a hardcore sort of really active player, with too many hours to admit, the gear that I had, and even now, if I take classifieds out of the picture, the gear that I had is gear that I had for a long time. So when they introduced classifieds in year 2, that for me, along with 1.8, absolutely changed the game. Could it have been smoother? Sure. Could we have had interventions here and there to help balance things a little bit better so that they don't stay the meta? And I hate that word because there's always got to be a meta, right? But so they don't stay the meta that long. Sure, again, maybe that's something they can learn for Division 2. But this year, to get where we are now, to get what if you went out and bought Division and you got 1.8, and still to come 1.8.1 and 1.8.2, amazing. Like they've done an amazing thing, and for them to turn it around as well from how deflated everybody was when they announced year 2 is. I think they've done like a phenomenal job, and that, I guess, the thanks to that goes not just to the community team, but like the marketing teams, Ubisoft themselves. They've had to, like, I guess, reinvest in year 2, even though they potentially haven't made any new money on because everything's been free so far in year 2. For them to do that and then put the marketing behind it, keep the community team and grow the community team, right? Because back in the day it was like Hamish and Yannick. We've got like Peta, Amper, and everybody else who sort of chips in to stay at the game every now and again. Right now, phenomenal. The start of year 2, not so much, but it's been one hell of a ride for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you say about the amount of content we have now, but it's crazy thinking on launch how much content we had then, and we were all still playing it every day, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, a lot of DZ I expect back then. Yeah. Luke?
So that's year 2 out of the way. What do you guys think we'll get in year 3 that obviously has not already been announced? So we know about 1.8.1, we know about 0.2, strawberry and parsnip, or whatever it was that Yannick called it. And do you genuinely think there'll be any new content, whether that be an update to something like survival or even maybe a new game mode or something? Sage?
I'll say exactly what I said regarding my experience for E3 and expecting there's probably going to be some kind of surprise that we just don't know about. I think that there's going to be some kind of surprise in year 3 that we just don't know about. Now, is it going to be, you know, a whole new unlocked piece of the map? I leaked out that there's going to be a pretty big new PvE area or some new huge DLC, but, you know, maybe it's because we don't expect it. That's why they're going to give it to us. But, you know, more than likely not. But is there going to be something else? Maybe the depth in which the SHIELD program has been communicated to us. Maybe it's actually much deeper than we know. I think really the sky's the limit, but I do expect them to surprise us no differently than they did with year 3 announcement and Division 2 E3. Like, nobody expected that. Nobody. So that was, I think that we'll see something that we don't expect to see. What it's going to be, I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same for me, I think. I'm not expecting anything in year 3. I think what's been announced so far, in terms of 1.8.1 and 1.8.2 and what we've played on the PTS, I think that's obviously our immediate future. You know, I would like to think we maybe get a couple more, because there's still a couple more missions that don't really have challenging or legendary. I think if anything, it will be small additions like that, and those additions might be fine because it gives us more stuff to do on a weekly basis. I don't think it's likely that we're going to see any new gear sets. I don't think it's likely that we're going to see any new weapons. I've said it like quite a few times on my stream, and it divides people, and I understand why. I would like to see either, well, beyond me deleting everything and resetting my character and starting again, I would potentially like to see another world tier, and that can, I don't know whether they've got the NPCs so they scale properly now, but if they have and they can put up the NPCs up to the next level, whatever that is, and allow us to have another world tier and like refarm a lot of gear, that would keep me interested, because the game, I've said before, I love the game. I don't get bored of the game. I get bored of not being able to loot anything, not being able to get any additional loot, any new loot.
You need to grind.
I need to grind like so hard, and that's what the game is, right? It's a looter shooter. So I don't know, I would like to see something like that. I would like to see those new legendaries. Shields could be really interesting. Like Sage said, it could be something that absolutely blows us away, or it could be something where it's like, go and kill 100 things and you'll get something. I'm hoping it's the format. I'm hoping it's like I'm hoping there's some easy ones so that anybody who wants to play the game can have something, can come in and can get something that I can take to Division 2. But I'm hoping there's something really grind-worthy there, that it isn't just kill another 100 LMB or whatever. I don't know what it is, but if they can make those, I'm assuming they're going to be challenges. If they can make those challenges really interesting and really unique and something that we haven't done before, and maybe even change up the way that we have to play the game to get those, that could be that for me. Maybe that'd be enough for year 3, because I really don't think they're going to be putting any
too much into it,
huge amounts of new content, because the team's not there. I think the team's got to be working, or has been working, on Division 2. So I mean that would be enough for me.
What's your prediction about legendary missions?
Serge?
I would like to see the more hard areas get legendary love. I'd love to see Madison Field Hospital. Of course, we're getting Amherst, but it's nice to see the challenges get an extra level in legendary. But I'd like to see more of the hard levels as well. Make them more replayable, because some of those are great. You know, Rooftop Comm Relay. It's so much fun to play, and you know the favorite line at the very end, John. You take a deep breath and find your balls. I play it just to hear that. Now we put it on legendary, and Sage is happy, and that gives me a reason to play those hard levels, which unless it's a part of the weekly, and let's face it, we go to Amherst, right? You don't see a lot of people, unless there's a specific reason to do it, playing them. And there's great story in there. There's great replayability. There just isn't an incentive. So I think legendary would fix that.
Yeah, Rooftop Relay is a great shout. That end fight where the boss rushes you from one roof to the other as a hunter. Oh my god, dude, game over. I'd love that. That is a great shout, Sage. Well done, man.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super happy with the ones that they've announced, because I was hoping Grand Central Station would have been one of the legendaries. Because when I first played that was the the first one that actually makes me feel like I'm going a long way in a mission, if that makes sense. Because a lot of the missions you're just in a loop and you might be going upstairs. But to see Grand Central Station get an overhaul and to see it difficult and challenging again was one of the first ones that I wanted. But yeah, you know, Rooftop and all those others, bringing those up and making those difficult, making those challenging, and getting the rewards in line with the challenge as well is going to be great, because everybody doesn't want to keep playing Clear Sky and Lexington and the stuff that we do.
Oh, I hadn't realised.
I tell you what I would love though, and everybody will hate me and be like, no, I would love to see a legendary version of Russian Consulate, like hands down.
Oh man, you went there.
100% agreed.
That's by far my favourite mission in the game. If we got a legendary version of that, oh my god, I would live in Russian Consulate.
I generally think they might do Lex.
Just to wind people up.
Yeah, just to piss people off.
Have you two been on the PTS?
Yes.
No.
No. Have you done the two new legendaries, Cal?
Sorry, say that again.
Have you played the two new legendaries?
Yes, I have. Amherst and Grand Central.
Have you completed them?
Yes.
Nice. Okay, fair enough. We tried Amherst the first night the PTS dropped.
Yeah.
No.
But to be fair,
Honest, you just need a couple of striker bills, and you're through it. So
only one of us was rocking a full classified set. To be fair, so actually no, it's PTS, wasn't it?
I mean, the classifiers definitely make it harder, and a healer makes it harder. They're great, they're challenging, and then the thing is, we've not played them before. Well, we have, but not legendary. So the thing with Time Square and the others right now is you've played them week after week after week. So having two new legendaries and having to learn where's the best, especially when you're going in with a group, where's the best place to set up, where's the best place to do, which enemies are going to come from where, and learning those spawn patterns that we all do. Sort of, even if you don't know that you're doing it subliminally. You know that subconsciously. You know that this bit's going to spawn now and this bit's going to spawn now. Going through it, and I've not been through it loads of times because I didn't want to get to live game and go, oh, it's this again. But having to relearn all that and optimize that so you can smash through it as quickly as I can get through time score and things like that right now, that's amazing.
Okay, over to you, Rob.
What do you want to see from Division 2, as in like skills, PvE, PvP, etc.?
Sage, do you want to go?
Sage?
Cal, after you.
Oh dear me. So Sage gets some extra thinking time now. He's like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this.
A little bit more.
Can I just say real quick, you two are the politest guests we've ever had.
No, you said.
Usually everybody's just jumping in like, I want to answer.
I was going to say it's like the Brit, but obviously Sage isn't, so yeah, we'll just take it as a compliment, Sage.
We'll let Sage be an honorary Brit for tonight.
Cheers.
Yeah, thank you.
For me, Division 2, I guess it's an expected answer, but I want to see more of Division 1. I don't want them to change it too fundamentally, and that goes for everything. Well, not everything. I'll go into the bits which I think need to change, but like fundamentally, I want it to be Division 1, an expansion of a new map, a new world, potentially new NPCs, new factions, things like that. All that is, I think, is the obvious things that I want to see. I would like to see. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to cut in that quick, and I completely agree with you on that. With the fact that when the Division released, it still didn't feel like it knew what it was.
Yes.
Yet 2 years later, it knows what it is.
Yes.
And if they progress forward with that, then even better.
Yeah, for sure. What we've got now. If 90% of that can be taken to Division 2, then I think we're on a really, really good standing. The things that I would like to see changed is skills, because the skills and talents as well. You know, the stuff that sort of sits under the hood that really should and could have an impact on gameplay, but that really doesn't, beyond shock turrets in the DC. The way that the skills scale, the way that we can use skills, the main stats as well. You know, that I despise the fact right now that you can be and I use it, so I'm not saying like, oh, despise it, and nobody should use it. Like I do. I hate the fact that I can have a 9,000 stamina striker build and output so much damage. I think if we get back to firearms builds dealing damage, stamina builds being tanky, and skill builds having those skills that can really affect gameplay, whether that be heal boxes, whether that be fire turrets, whether it be all the things that you expect of traditional main stat roles. I think if we can get back to that and not introduce things that change the gameplay too much, because although I think classifieds have been an amazing addition, and I go back to what I said before, they reinvigorated the game and the grind for me. I think they've made, or for me, they've made the game a little bit too easy in some circumstances. Like I run about face tanking in Legendaries now on PC, and for the hardest content in the game, you could argue, well, that's what you meant to do at end game. I don't know. I sort of feel like I should still be scared of NPCs running at me, and right now it's just like, I'm going to burn you down before you get to me because I'm outputting so much damage.
Yeah, it needs to move back towards more of a cover-based shooter than face.
Yeah, for sure. And I would honestly like, and again, the difficulty comes in because of PvP. Take PvP, and I love PvP, by the way, so I'm not talking it down, but you take PvP at the equation, and there's no reason why it couldn't be a cover-based shooter. If we upped the NPC level or the damage, or whatever, it could quite easily just you go straight back to being like a proper cover-based shooter. The fact that there are more downsides in PvP for staying in cover, I think, has changed people's opinion of what to do in the dark zone. You run down the street, you don't like take cover and look around and assess what's around you. I think at end game, I would like to see a complete slowdown of gameplay in Division 2. And for the dark zone, I don't want any changes. I know people are talking about PvE dark zone and things like that. I want the dark zone to be what it is. I want it to be that risk reward. I want to go in and I get ganked. They're like, if I go in solo or don't go in with a group of people that know what they're doing, I get ganked, and I'm fine with that, because that's the risk, that's the draw, that's the risk reward of the dark zone, that I can pull out so much loot, and a slowdown of loot. That's probably my last point. I think we've got too much loot right now. It's amazing for somebody you can only jump in for an hour, but having to continuously get rid of like hundreds of items out my bag after a couple of hours play session, that's too much loot, considering we have so little loot to get, if that makes sense. Because we've not got a ton of loot, right? We've got 13 gear sets? And then we've got high-end some weapons, 14. So we don't have we don't need, if you look on like a weekly basis, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of items, because the RNG is so much better now than it used to be. You've only got a couple of major roles and a couple of minor roles. It's not where we used to be, where it was like 1 of 14 and that's your main stat, and 1 of 20 something and scavenging as your minor stat. So so yeah, I would like, I guess, to condense my answer and then shut up and pass it to Sage. More of Division 1, and just polish up the areas that right now we don't really get the benefit from. So main stats, skills, skill trees, and things like that for me. And don't change the DC.
Agreed. Sage?
I have to agree with Cal with the offset of his comment there around Division 2 being a continuation of be exactly what Division 1 is. I think we need not a full cap off of the story that we've been grinding out for going on 3 years, but I think we need to move forward with that, put a bit of a cap on it. Maybe this turns to a global scale of some kind, maybe some World War Z thing where you've got to go and meet other world leaders or other governments to try. I don't know. But let's put a cap on New York, at least kind of start us there, maybe, I don't know, and then move on from there. Much more story, more on the PvE side. Group dynamics are really important. Cal had mentioned before that some of the skills that we're just not using. I was a big Paulson Smart cover fan of the 1.3 time, not in PvP. I wasn't that guy, but In PvE, I loved it, and we very rarely use smart cover anymore. So more skills would be fantastic, but dynamic group interactivity. I would like to see them build on the system that is already there to make it more valuable being in a group and playing off of each other's strengths, recognizing each other's weaknesses, especially in the PvE in-game standpoint. That is so important for the PvEers who maybe don't appreciate the PvP, that in-game content where they're regrinding, improving their times, learning where the spawns are, really honing their skills as a group. Could we make that more rewarding for them? Can we give them more to do? Can we make it more complicated getting through some of that content? So I think the skill aspect of it, there's so much more that they could do. And yeah, that's what I would like to see, and a nice balance of it too. As far as the Dark Zone is concerned, I have to agree with Cal again. The risk reward, while there may be some debate on what folks find risk and reward and for who, that is the point of the Dark Zone. That I don't think it should be separated in a PvE or area and a PvP area. Now, if there's some more objective-based things, if we're going to continue to keep weeklies, or is that type of incentive for PvEers to go into the Dark Zone to get better loot, then fine. Can we get some more competition going back and forth? Can we make it to where you enter the Dark Zone and as a PvEer and you have to do X, Y, or Z, against manhunts specifically to get what you need to do. Force more group play back and forth. I'm not, I'm not an elite PvPer, but I do enjoy the Dark Zone the way that it is. And I can say, as somebody who is majority a PvEer, that I wouldn't want them to see the change, see them change the core of what the Dark Zone is. There are some tweaks that can be done. Yeah. Please don't change it. I think that needs to be what it is at its core. But please continue the storyline. Let's put a cap on it and build on what's already there. And I think that's going to be more than possible, considering what they've done with 1.8. And like Mike said, they've learned a lot about what the game is up to this point, as opposed to year one.
I think that's one thing we all want, though. Like, with each, obviously Division 2 is coming. What happens after that is unknown. But if they aim to support it, like I'm guessing that they're going to, the amount of studios working on the game, I think we might see a better rollout of content this time around, and I'm hoping personally we see a lot more story with that as well, or even just in general a bit more lore per update than we have done over the past 2 years.
I don't know what maybe you guys think about this too, but I was thinking, I'd seen clan support come up several times, and I'm sure you gentlemen have as well. Clan support would be fabulous, and maybe some type of faction support would be cool as well.
Yeah, we would love a situation where you have to basically make it through the game, and the choices that you make decipher whether you, at the end of the game, are a rogue agent or SHD. So depending on the outcome of what you decide to do throughout the game, for us, would be awesome.
Yeah.
And would also deem you to have different characters as well. You'd have to have different characters. How that would play out in the Dark Zone, there's so many other things that would affect it. We don't know. That's outside of our realm of judgment, but that would be something that would be kind of cool. Yeah. And I know you understand that from Knights of Old Republic and the Old Republic itself, so...
It does give it a bit more of an MMORPG feel, and I feel like the Division is kind of there almost. It just doesn't have the breadth of content to be able to support like MMO status, but the base is there, and I think they could really soar in Division 2.
Yeah. What Sage said then is something that I haven't really given much thought, and I hadn't really heard about it on the twits and things like that. But clans, guilds, whatever we call them, that could be amazing. And just going back to Destiny. Again, the fact that implement it right and just don't write it off as like clans and it's just a label and it's just a thing after your name. Like if you go back and look what Destiny did in terms of, I can log in sometimes, and if like Salty Paul or any of the other guys have been on and done something that week, I can log on. I can have loot waiting for me because of what the clan, what the team, whatever you want to call it, has been doing that week. Yeah. So I think that would also reward those people that can't get on that often. You know, if they can get on and I don't know, they've got like if we've done enough activities, they have a classified piece waiting for them or something along those lines, or a new weapon, or even just like cosmetics. You know what I mean? Like they get such a thing. That would be, I think that would be amazing.
Yeah.
So clans, yeah, I hadn't given it much thought before, but yes, I want it. Do
And
it.
perks.
Yeah.
Faction perks would be great too, at least while you're a part of that faction. You know, if you're a cleaner, you have resistance to fire and you do more fire damage with your grenades or something silly like that. But the sky is really the limit, and introducing new factions too that will give you perks while you're with them. And maybe there's some interactivity between factions, and maybe a guild can be a part of a particular faction. Maybe there's guild factions. Cal, that's a great point. Man,
Yeah.
Dude's on it.
Awesome, guys. Well, I want to thank you very much to the both of you for joining us today. I think you've been awesome pair of people to join us today. So
You think they've been awesome?
think
They have been. Dude, it's a
I'm
fact.
hungover. Give me a
Fucking
break.
awesome.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's been awesome having you both on. Huge congratulations on your star player status. Well deserved.
Woo!
Can I just say a huge congratulations on 100 episodes of SITREP Radio.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
that's amazing.
Star player aside, that 100 episodes, week after week after week, covering all the stuff that you're doing, and it never gets boring. I caught up on it over the last 3-4 months, you know, from sort of the first episode, which I rewatched today, by the way, and it's terrible.
Thank you.
But like, huge congratulations and well done on 100 episodes.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Cal.
dude.
Appreciate that,
Thank you
man.
very much. Yeah, it's gone by very quick.
It has, yeah.
There was no end goal, and the creepy thing is, like, you know, like Sage said earlier, you know, he started playing the game, you found out about the state of the game, you found out about the community as a whole. But like when me and Rob started this, and it's the one thing that we've kind of stuck with the whole time, is it was just the three of us sat down chatting and having a laugh. And I mean, you've listened to the first episode. We were both drunk on that first episode. You should have seen how many times re-recorded the intro to that.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
It's not just the intro. It's like you
No,
ask a
it's the
question,
whole lot. Yeah.
And I think was it you, Luke, or Rob? And they're like, yeah, well,
It sounds like something
yeah. It's like, that's amazing, because like I want to do more stuff with like podcasts and stuff this year. So knowing that even some guys who pull off a podcast that's as polished as yours, and I know Sage, you do bombshell jackets and the other ones, knowing that there's a journey that you go on, and to get to like the level of presentation that you're on, that's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
congratulations again.
This
No,
this
thank you
stuff
very
helps, by the way.
Also, yeah, the trick is to record
podcast
as if you're not going to edit. That's the trick.
Yeah, but you're saying that stuff's helpful. It's also debatable at what time you should be taking that stuff. Hey, bro. Yeah,
That's legit the most important conversation we have before any podcast. What time are we drinking tonight, guys?
No, it's been an awesome 100 episodes. Like, without the division, Luke wouldn't be on the podcast with us, you know.
Very true. Very true.
We met Luke during the 1.3 days doing Dragon's Nest, you know.
Farming the Four Horsemen.
Farming the Four Horsemen, you know.
So here's to the division just for making 2 new friends.
Yeah.
Like you guys are holding up like beer, and I'm holding up coffee. Like, cheers, guys.
got an empty glass. So apologies, guys. But
Cheers, Sage.
you know,
Cheers.
Good
Cal.
coffee.
here's to it. Another hopeful 100 episodes. Especially now Division 2's on the way. Yes! It's going to be awesome. Anyway,
It is.
thank you very much for joining us. I hope you stick with us till the end of the show. If you can, if you've got enough time. Robert,
Yeah?
we've got a couple of giveaways.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nothing's
I've got to do
changed.
something now. I've got to do something now.
That's episode 1 all over again. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
Who, me?
This is where it all goes wrong.
I'm not sure this is going to work, Mike. Let me just try it.
I'm trusting you. For those just tuning in now, we do have a gold edition copy of The Division for PC for 2 lucky people to win today, courtesy of Petter Martinson from the community team at The Division game. So thank you very much to Petter. and if you win, please send him a thank you over on Twitter. That would be awesome. Is it not working?
No,
He's already done it.
Yeah, Tubby's one.
Tubby
Does
won
he
it.
need it, or shall I re-roll it?
Do you need it, Tubby, or can we re-roll it? For those listening to this as an audio medium, I apologize. But you should have been watching the live stream. Ron is always fun.
We're unstoppable. Why am I called Ron?
I can't even remember how that started, dude, but I like it. You look like a Ron as well.
Tubby, can you just confirm that you want that? If not, we will re-roll it for somebody else. In the meantime, Rob, he's giving it away. Re-roll it, Robert. Zelmov, you've just won yourself a copy of the Gold Edition Division on PC. If you send us...
So now you do the like Twitch giveaways of terror. It's like, do you want it? Do you want it? Speak up now. There we go, he's there. There we go.
Zelmov, give us a DM and we'll send that over to you as soon as the show ends. Thank you very much, dude.
Congrats.
Congratulations. You're welcome, man. And we do have a second copy which we'll give away in a few minutes. However, before we go, Luke, we've got a bit of an announcement to make today. I don't think we've actually told anybody.
No, so this is the final episode, isn't it? We're just going to shut up shop.
That's it.
You're done. That's it.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Unfortunately, you poor bastards who've turned up are going to have to listen to us for a little while longer. No, the announcement is the three of us are going to Gamescom in Germany in August. Tickets are booked, flights are booked, accommodation, I was going to say hotel, but that's all booked, all paid for. So, yeah, if anybody else is going to Gamescom, hit us up. We'd love to meet you, have a beer or a cup of coffee if it's Cal. Yeah, that's it basically.
We're going to Germany. Bring it.
Screw you guys going to LA for E3. We're going to Germany.
we're going the opposite direction. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Although it's like 2 days after I get married. So luckily the missus is gone. Yeah, it's fine.
You know, if you weren't already marrying her, I'd tell you to marry her, Rob, because she's a fucking saint.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's yeah.
But yeah, huge thanks to Spick Beats in chat because he helped us sort out accommodation over there. So I want to give him a huge shout out.
Fuck you, Boris.
Asshole.
Private
Thank
joke,
you.
sorry.
There is somebody else in chat that we do also want to thank as well, which is Chuck Cunningham. We will be sending you, if I can find it, it's currently in my shed, a SITREP Radio Year 2 Edition Cup. He's been a huge supporter of the show and gone through some hard times over the last year. And I'll be honest, like, we meant to send you this ages ago. We just forgot. So I apologize. We will be sending it out to you as soon as possible. If you can DM me your address and we'll sort you out. But thank you very much for supporting us.
Yeah, man's a legend.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
He is a huge supporter of the community because I see him in Cal streams. I see him over on the Division
He's
game.
everywhere.
I see him he's everywhere. So thank you very much, man.
MVP.
For sure.
Right. Let's start to end this. Before we do, Robert, do you want to give away another copy of the game?
Yep, okay.
Or
Hang on.
try, at least.
There you go, I did it. Idiot stick.
Idiot stick. If you want it, let us know. If not, we'll re-roll it. But you've just won yourself a gold edition copy of The Division on PC. Baby, you tell me. Shut up.
Does he want it?
I'll leave you to keep an eye on that. In the meantime, normally we would have some feedback and questions. However, today you can join us very briefly live on the show. If you just type !appear in chat, you will find a link. Go to that link and you'll be able to join us live on the show. If you want to ask our guests a question or give any thoughts quick, go for it. We'll try and get you in as soon as possible, but we're going to give it 5-10 minutes before we leave and end the show.
I'm going to re-roll it because Idiot Stick doesn't need it.
Okay.
Maverick. Would you like
Another
a
star
copy?
player.
Okay, in the meantime, I do have a guest. Let's let in this person. Dun, 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 dun. Mr. Edelon Fox.
Oh, why?
Congratulations, dude, on your star player status. You'll be joining these fine fellows, Sage and Cal.
Yes, it's
Just gonna sit there
That's it.
silently.
That's it.
Can you hear us okay, Fox?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
no problem. I just have to fucking turn off the actual stream. What's up, gentlemen?
How's it going, man?
Nothing fine. Cheers. But first of all, fuck you. You're cool and you're cool.
Well,
was
there's
one of the cool
I'm
ones,
guessing there was 3 fucks. That's me looking Rob, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
basically.
Yeah, definitely.
Cal says you're cool, but fuck you other 3 guys.
No.
What's good, gentlemen?
How rude.
Yes.
Anyway, do you want to ask our guests anything apart from congratulations to yourself? Or feedback or anything before we head out?
Nah, I covered a lot of good things, honestly. I actually agreed on a whole lot of the things you actually covered, so I think you basically are good to go. I just want to say congratulations to both Cal and Sage for going to E3. I'm
And
sorry you
yourself.
had to join me,
And to you as well.
so I apologize for that, but it wasn't my decision, but decided to fucking take out the mantle anyway, so I'll be looking forward to it though.
Okay.
A whole lot.
Awesome.
Yeah, good times, good times.
Oh yeah. Hopefully. Or we'll make it. In terms of what I maybe will be expecting from it, I don't fucking know, but I'm looking forward to trying all the fucking food. If anything else.
Well,
I mean-
here's a question for you then, Foxy. We're going to Germany.
Yeah.
So does this mean we're going to finally see you in the flesh?
I don't know yet. I'm trying to actually figure that one out still. Because
God,
I
I
have
hope
to...
not.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly my fault. Okay, that's a nope.
Would you like a stone's throw away? Surely you're going to meet us there. Come on.
Yeah, it takes about, I think, 6 hours on the train, basically. I should be there. Or so. But I am considering actually coming down south when you guys are. I already talked with Boris about it a little bit, so I think I'm maybe trying to see if I can work something out. Maybe bring my wife.
Yeah.
So that could be fun.
No, that'd be cool. Man. Nice to see you down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
What Gamescom? It's I don't fucking yeah. It's true. Tubby says I'm not even going to make it through security. He's probably right.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna let you go, Foxy. But thank you very much for stopping by. If anybody else wants to join chat quick, now's the time to do it. Because we got about five minutes left before we disappear. Because these lovely fellows want to enjoy the rest of their evening or day.
I need a pee.
I'm out of beer.
Nice.
Yeah, that too.
I'm running low on beer actually. I've got through like 4 drinks since we started this podcast.
If Boris or I know Weezer was trying to jump in earlier, or if anybody else wants to jump in before we disappear, go for it. Oh, let's see who. It's the
Who's
man
this?
himself. It is Weezer.
Oh, he's
Hey Weezer, how's it going, man?
What's going on, guys? How are you guys doing?
Weezer!
up, please?
Can you
How's it
guys
going?
hear me okay?
Yeah.
A shaven
Okay,
Weezer.
hell right now.
Shaven Weezer.
How are you guys doing?
We're not doing too bad. Yourself?
I'm trying to survive with no internet. It's not good. We're currently at my wife's parents' business, so we can at least game some. But yeah, I wanted to jump in and say huge congratulations to you guys on 100 episodes.
Thank you.
Been
very
on a
much.
few myself. It's always been a pleasure. You guys are awesome. So yeah, I just wanted to jump in and say congratulations.
You're welcome anytime, bud. Thank you very much for all the support you've given us over the last year as well.
there's a lot of good conversation on what people want for the future of the division. I think everybody's got a lot of really good ideas. I've been throwing out all kinds of stuff. I'm all over the place, and I'm really up for anything. You know, I think Cal hit some really good points, and if the division is really close to what we have now, that'll be fine. The game is in a really good place right now, so I'm up for anything. So a lot of good conversation. We'll keep it going and see what they're able to do.
I suppose the next question is, since you're going to E3, are you going to be our designated E3 spokesperson?
That's right. That's right. We talked about this.
No pressure.
We'll have to see. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Oh,
He's gone.
He's gone.
Bye.
But thank you very much for stopping by.
So
Okay.
much for that gaming internet.
Next person. Let's see who's behind door number 2. Let in. Oh, hold on. Who's that? I don't know who that is.
Boris.
Hello?
Foxy Hoodie.
What's up, Beats?
Boris.
How's it going, man?
What's up?
How we doing, dude?
I'm good.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, man.
Oh, he's got his Edelon Fox hoodie on.
Oh,
Have
you
got-
had to rep the Foxy hoodie, didn't you? You want one of these, dude? You want one of these? This is where it's at.
Hey, bring it down in August.
Okay.
You know it, dude. You know it.
Yeah, huge props to Spit Beats. We had a stressful couple of hours trying to find accommodation, so thank
Yeah,
you
we
very
did.
much.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Thank you.
Congrats on 100, by the way. Love
Thank you very much.
Cheers, dude. Cheers.
it. I think I've been around for about 65 of them.
What? You haven't listened to all of them? Get out.
No. Well, Cal said number 1 sucked, so why should I bother?
Yeah, definitely don't get back.
If you're 65 in, you probably started listening when I joined, so you know you got the good shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rip.
true, but you're still not my favorite.
Oh, come on.
No, thank you very much, Boris, because you've helped us in our Discord. You've helped us across like various freaking stupid clan sites such as Band.
Yeah, man, anytime, dude, anytime.
And
Got,
I'm
got any
looking.
questions
For,
for
I was gonna
Cal
say.
or Sage, Boris?
No, me and Sage on Bombshell have already had some good conversations. So, and Cal, I want to say congratulations to both of you, Sage and Cal, and Foxy, because I know you're listening. I've already said it, but awesome stuff on the Star Player, guys.
Thank you, dude.
Thank you very much.
Awkward pause. Come on, we gotta have one of those. Let's get this conversation.
Yay!
That state of the game cringe feel right now. It's so good.
Every single episode.
Right. I think
Should
we'll
we
probably-
end it?
Let's end this shit.
So I can have this.
I just want to say thank you to everybody watching. Thank you to our guests today. Robert, where can the listeners find us?
You can find us at SITREP Radio on Twitter, Facebook, and Discord. Send us any questions or feedback to the email address, which is sitrepRadiopod@gmail.com, or via the socials. Also, we post full episodes and other content on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/SITREPRadio. Please leave a comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Luke?
You can find this podcast and other awesome episodes over on iTunes, Apple Podcasts for iOS, Podbean, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, and please, whilst you're there, rate, review, and subscribe. Thank you!
If you do head over to mashthosebuttons.com, then make sure to check out some of the other podcasts that are a part of the Mash Those Buttons network. Cal, where can the people of Earth find you?
Earth. Twitter.com/CalStreams, Twitch.tv/CalStreams, Facebook.com/Cal.from.Twitch, because there's already CalStreams and Cals apparently. Don't know how.
Nice.
Yeah, just those two mainly.
And what about the cloud people, Sage?
The cloud people. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Xbox, Ubisoft, PlayStation, everywhere at Orenji Sage,
Giving free hugs.
giving free hugs to those in need.
Spick, we'll see you in August at Gamescom.
For sure, guys.
And thank you very much to everyone for joining us for our 100th episode. It's been awesome. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
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 You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete.